Hey, what's up YouTube? Riding with Dad back at you, and I am on my son's 2013 CBR 600 RR, just for kind of a first ride. Never ridden this bike before, so figured I'd bring you the first impressions on the motorcycle. The bike is not stock. It's got a Tose exhaust and a power commander in it. Already I can tell you I'm not a fan of that front brake. Front brake feels a little mushy. Bike has good acceleration. Back brake, I actually kind of like the back brake. Shifting is pretty solid. Seating position on the bike is basically what you'd expect from any super sport. It's not designed for comfort. Bike just absolutely likes to freaking go fast. Very fun to ride. That exhaust just gets your dick hard every time you hear it, too. It's a freaking screaming machine. Bike loves to corner, too. I would so much rather be on this bike at the track than the ZX14R. So much better. So much better in the corners. Very fun. Again, this is just my initial first thoughts on a motorcycle that I've never really ridden before. Yeah, that front brake, I am not a fan of that front brake at all. It grabs, but it just grabs when you're not expecting it to grab. So far, the biggest complaint about the bike is just that front brake. I thought the biggest complaint about the bike would be the back brake, because I've heard a lot of negative stuff about that back brake just being kind of spongy. But I don't know, the back brake feels fine to me. I think it's the front brake that I'm not a fan of. Shifting is good and solid. Throttle is responsive, what you'd expect from any super sport. Clutch feels good. Acceleration in the power band is really good. This bike is nimble. Very, very nimble. Mirrors are decent. Number one at the stoplight. Get a chance to see what the acceleration really is like on this thing. See if my son wants to race in his big Silverado 2500 HD. Or as he likes to call it, the Great White Snatch. Nope, he's not going to race. Yeah, it's a fun bike, guys. First thoughts are that I like it when you compare it with other super sports. I am a little surprised there's no indication telling you which gear you're in. Most bikes have an indication on what gear you're in. This bike's lacking that. You know, the seating position, now that I've been on this bike for about 15 minutes, it's starting to feel a little better. I guess comparing it with other super sports, it really is about what you'd expect, or maybe even a little bit better. Honda did a nice job on this bike, there's no doubt about that. Even though I'm a Kawasaki guy, Honda didn't do bad. It's really my first time on the bike, and I'm impressed, guys. I'm really impressed. In its class, I mean, this is one of the best ones I've ridden. This is a very, very good quality bike. That's my first thoughts. It's a great bike. Tony's going to be on right now, since this is his bike, with a more detailed review. Tony. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit more useful information. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
What is going on, YouTube? This is Tony from Riding with Dad. I'm coming at you with a review on a 2013 600RR. This is actually my personal bike. I've had this bike for almost 4 months now. I have done a few upgrades to the bike. I have a Toast exhaust, a Power Commander 5, and I have a K&N air intake. All of this has been custom tuned and custom mapped to the bike. Coming from a 500, this would be a pretty significant step up. I do not recommend this bike for, a first-time rider unless this bike just gets thrown your way. Then you could learn from there. Very good on gas. I think it's roughly 45-50 miles a gallon. So for a commuter bike, this bike is not overpowered. If I had a 1000 in the city, I would not enjoy it as much because, what fun is, a fast bike going slow. The engine braking on this bike is phenomenal. It has a digital display. There's a fuel gauge on this bike, which is also very nice. The mirrors are fairly decent on this bike. They're better than any other bike I've ridden. This bike comes in at 410 pounds stock, but with a few minor modifications. I've got the fender eliminator on this bike, and I also have a Toast exhaust, which helps with helps a little bit with weight reduction. So I am under 400 pounds on this bike. I have the white, red, and blue edition. America. The stock seat, I will say, is one of the drawbacks on this bike. So if you're riding this bike more than 45 minutes, you're going to want to stretch. This is one of the better 600 class, I think. In my personal opinion, I think it is better than the R6, but, feel free to tell me that I'm a dumbass. I have had zero problems with this. All that you'll have to do with this bike is change your oil and clean your chain, and just keep up with regular maintenance on it. We're going to hit some speed right here so you can really hear this bike open up. This bike does get up and go. I think 0 to 60 is about mid-range 3.5. That's what I got it down to. The headlight is good on this bike. This headlight, whenever you turn on the high beam on this bike, you barely even notice it because the low beam is just phenomenal. This bike is very stable, very nimble. From the back, the taillight is just piercing red. That Toast exhaust is a great upgrade. I do recommend it. They do have the Hyperflow exhaust, but I just think this exhaust fits the bike just perfect. Neutral on this bike is super easy to find, I may add as well. This bike also does have the big piston show of force, which are adjustable, so if you have another rider or you're going to be going to a track day, you might want to adjust it. It's very simple, just a simple turn of a screwdriver and you're good. The clutch kicks in about halfway in, so your friction goes about halfway in on this bike, so it's not a heavy clutch. But if you enjoy riding and you're ready for a step up, this is the bike for you. This bike is awesome. Any CBR is an amazing bike. Bang for your buck. This bike definitely meets most of my criteria. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, and let us know how we did. Comment. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.